Highland Golf Repair. Club making, repairs, reviews and more. Follow us on YouTube by clicking the subscribe button.
Hi, this is Ron with Highland Golf Repair, and welcome back to our channel. So we've been asked a number of times, how did we go about actually constructing our putting green that we use here at our little facility? The honest to gosh truth is that we use the native soil. This is not a USGA root zone. It's just pretty much on top of basically a clay substrate. So this is what they call a push-up type green. So we're using the native soils. Every once in a great while we will add some sand onto it to try to help level it out and smooth it. But for the most part we just use what we've got. The grass type that's on here is actually a bent grass. So we're in southern Ohio. We're in the zone 6B for those of you that are on agriculture and know your USDA zones very well. So we do get very cold temperatures in the winter. We do get very hot temperatures in the summer. We selected for this a grass type that was supposedly very, very hardy, did very well in full sun, did well in full shade, and that is the crystal blue lynx. It's a grass seed that, if you look at some of the trials, is in the lower to the middle part of hardiness and disease susceptibility. Its claim is that it really does well against dollar spot. I can tell you from personal experience with this over the last 2 years, the dollar spot does occur onto this type of a green. We've had to treat it accordingly. But to get down to the grass type, we purchased the grass seed directly from a place called Outside Pride out of Oregon. It's roughly around $29.95 or so per pound. As you go for other higher pound increments, the price obviously reduces down. This green was built in 2 phases. Our initial phase is what I'm standing on currently. This has been planted in the spring of 2021. I cleared everything in the fall of 2020 to get rid of the native grass, weeds, etc. And put down crystal blue lynx. The key to getting this down is seed to soil contact. So as I put it down and was spreading it by hand, I actually was using my feet and a hand roller to make sure that the grass seed was actually impregnating into the upper part of the surface canopy, which for this surface is actually the clay substrate. Its size was around 1,200 square feet, which was pretty manageable for what I was able to do. At the time, I had a hand self-propelled Jacobson greens mower, and it was capable of going down to really, really low cuts, which we don't go really, really low here. We have it set no lower than 0.15 inches. For a lot of people, they would think that may be a little bit too long, but with the summers and the heat and everything, it turns out to be just about right for this grass. The grass seed from Outside Pride, where we purchased the crystal blue lynx, states that this tolerates mowing heights down to 1/8 of an inch, which is 0.125 inches. So we are getting down toward that end where it can really handle it. In order to keep the speeds up, though, you just can't mow it short. So we have a rolling program that we do with this. So I don't try to mow this green every day. We actually do like a mow and then we'll do a roll. We'll go back and forth. Today was our mowing day, so we went about and did that. When we expanded over to the left, and I will show you that now. This left side was the expansion piece. This became a little bit more challenging as that the soil, although the same type as what was on the phase 1 portion, had some issues with fertility and being able to get the grass seed to catch. So in the spring of 2022, I decided that this was the time to actually expand this out and essentially double the size of the green. So the greens are roughly right around 2,400, give or take, square feet. and it's kind of in a semi-kidney shape that we do. One part juts out further than the other, and we actually have quite a bit of a contour to this green. When we seeded it again, we did the crystal blue links again. That's the one I've been going with. It was just because that was a grass type that was readily available. It was not Pencross, which is an old standby, tried and true. Pencross, as a lot of people know, has a lot of problems with disease and with summertime heat. So this crystal blue links was obviously the better choice for us. There were some other pen blends, but this one seems to really have done the trick for us. So we established it in 2022. We've gone through a full mowing season. This is now the summer of 2023, and we've really got it to grow in fairly well. We do have some bald spots, and that is something you are going to deal with when putting in with a push-up green. As much as you're going to want to say, hey, I want to get even coverage on it all, you're going to have to really work at it. There are a few spots here or there on this green where we've just had some issues with the seed germinating in that type of soil. We've put down the fertilizers. We've tried to help it out with humectants and humic acids and biochar. We're still having some issues with it, but it is growing in slowly. But we do mow it here. We switched from the hand mower, and the reason we had to switch from the hand mower was not because the hand mower was incapable. It was that the hand mower needed a new bed knife on it, and getting the supplies for that bed knife during the pandemic part, coming out of it, as everybody knows, supply chain was really kind of tough. So we ended up purchasing a triplex mower for this purpose. It's an 8-reel, whereas my hand mower is an 11-reel. The 11-reel is more suited for putting greens. The 8-reel is about as few of blades as you can really go to do a putting green. We changed out the bed knives on the triplex. They were meant really for cutting tees and tee boxes, and we converted it over to being able to cut the low height that we need, about 0.156, 157 inches is where we're currently at with the triplex. The triplex is a lot heavier than obviously the hand mower, so as it pushes itself down into the soil, into the grass here, it causes a little closer cut. When we cut this, and that's one of the things that you will have to be very careful about, and we were very careful about, is the concept of scalping. You do get that on this type of a green. Some of the grass types are more susceptible to being scalped than others. Crystal blue links is one of those that's kind of in that middle of where it can or cannot scalp easily, and it just depends on how you have it set up. Rolling this is fairly simple. It's just back and forth, and we do it by hand. There are those side-to-side rollers that you see that they use sometimes at the course where you may be playing, or you see on television where they're trying to firm up surfaces for tournament play. We haven't purchased one of those. We haven't just seen the need for it just yet. Just we're trying to really get the green itself really healthy on it. Now, with everything that we discussed in terms of the maintenance that you need to do with this type of a green, it's basically an overview. There is a lot more that goes into it. I'm just giving a pretty much a high-level view as to what it really takes, and some of the timings that go along with it. But there is more to it. So you do have to realize that you're going to be dedicating quite a bit of time and some resources to it. So these materials cost money. If you like really some further details on to do this, I'm not telling you not to do it. I'm just telling you that you need to be aware of what it's going to take in order to do this. Please add a comment below, and I'll get back to you about it. Definitely willing to converse with you on how we did it. Yeah. But again, this is Ron with Highland Golf Repair, and we hope to see you next time.